Hello and thank you for tuning in to Millennium Media. So we got our very first teaser trailer for Monarch Legacy of Monsters, the Godzilla streaming series coming to Apple TV Plus on November 17th. So many interesting snippets to pick from here. Let's just get right into it, no wasting time. The return of John Goodman as Bill Randa just brings my level of hype to whole new levels, because I thought that John Goodman gave the best performance in Kong Skull Island as the character of Bill Randa. I thought that the character was also the most interesting. He was the most layered and there were so many more deep things to that character that we didn't get to explore, but that was hinted at. And when he was killed off, I was super bummed out. But now we're getting to see that character explored in more depth. And that really excites me that they're using him, to add more lore and really just add to that level of interconnectivity between all these new Godzilla and King Kong movies. That's super exciting stuff here. And the fact that we're seeing him, John Goodman himself give the performance as the sort of self, recorded video cam footage where he's saying, hey, whoever finds this is my legacy to you, and continue on the story of what's going on at Monarch and what they're up to and these kaiju creatures that are out there. That's super exciting. Someone's, we see it a shot in the teaser that someone's holding on to his belongings, and someone gets a hold of this footage. And because we even see we're going to be getting extended action sequences from Kong Skull Island that I was not expecting at all, because we see at one point, Bill Randa's running from one of the monsters on Skull Island. That's super exciting. I did not expect that at all, but that's just very, very fulfilling, I think, for fans of the Kong Skull Island movie from 2017. You're going to be getting way more from that film that you didn't even know was there in the first place. Now, I'm sure they, shot this new footage, and of course, they brought John Goodman back, and that's just very exciting because I really, really enjoyed that character in the movie. He was the most layered, and there's a scene in Kong Skull Island which I thought is the most well-acted scene in the movie where, John Goodman's Bill Randa is speaking to Samuel L. Jackson's character, and he tells him,
monsters exist.
So we know that he has been aware, of course, working under Monarch, he knows about all the kaiju creatures that are out there. And so I'm curious to see what they do with his character and how they flesh him out some more, and how they use him to build out the universe. Because we know, or at least I think we know, that there's an actor who's playing a much younger version of Bill Randa. And I'm wondering if we're going to be getting some sequences with him as well in his much younger days, where he's maybe barely getting into Monarch and barely discovering, the kaiju that are out there. So very, very interesting stuff that I was not expecting at all from Monarch Legacy of Monsters. That stuff really, really excites me. But moving on from that, it looks like we're not going to be getting Bryan Cranston here. I mean, of course, for those of you who were super hyped, coming off the back of Breaking Bad, the marketing for Godzilla, the Gareth Edwards 2014 Godzilla movie that really kickstarted this whole new universe between Godzilla and King Kong, they really heavily marketed that movie as, hey, Bryan Cranston is in Godzilla. Bryan Cranston versus Godzilla. Let's go. And he was in the movie for 5 minutes. I was really worried that was going to happen here with Kurt Russell, the legendary Kurt Russell from The Thing. The 1982 Thing is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I mean, it doesn't get better than Kurt Russell if you're a horror fan, at least in my opinion. He's one of the best. He's one of the GOATs. So the fact that he was announced for this, I was like, oh man, his son Wyatt Russell was in here too, who's very talented, but I was like, man, are they going to Bryan Cranston him where he's only in the show for one episode? It's not looking like that's the case, because he's in a lot of this teaser trailer, and he's in a lot of different shots in a lot of different locations, and his character seems to really be on a mission, much like the character of Bill Randa was. And I think that when you focus on human characters in kaiju movies, they have to be interesting characters, who are worth following and taking time away from the kaiju. But two, they need to be very good actors, and Kurt Russell is certainly that. So I'm very curious to see where his character goes. He looks like someone who would be playing this sort of morally gray character who's maybe fully on board the Monarch propaganda and fully believes in their mission. It's just we got to get rid of all of them. Maybe even Godzilla too. So I'm wondering if he has some sort of vendetta against Godzilla. Maybe we'll get some backstory and figure out, did Godzilla, battle one of the kaiju and maybe accidentally do something that accidentally hurt, Kurt Russell's character or someone from his family or something that he cared about, that gives him this sort of hostility maybe towards Godzilla as well as the other kaiju. I'm very curious to see what's going to be happening there. And of course, the dynamic with his son, again, Wyatt Russell is playing his son in the series as well. So I'm wondering because we see a shot where he's, in an orange like suit, and he's working for Monarch, and he's like, this is what we do, this is what we signed up for. And I'm wondering if maybe sort of the the turmoil here that Wyatt Russell's character could be having, where maybe he idolizes his father and decided to work for Monarch like his father, to be like his father and relate to his father. But then maybe he starts realizing that, wait, hold up a minute. Godzilla is not like these other kaiju. Godzilla is here to protect us, and Godzilla means well. Despite the chaos that might come from him having to fight the other kaiju. So I'm wondering if maybe Wyatt Russell and Kurt Russell's characters could become at odds at some point throughout the series. So that's all very exciting stuff. And of course, the shot of Godzilla in the rain, I mean, that's like classic Godzilla. Get me Godzilla in any type of rain and stormy weather, and I'm sold. I'm there. I think really the only thing I can ask for from this series now, we're getting the Bill Randa character, we're getting Kurt Russell. I think the only thing I can ask for now is that hopefully, I understand it's a lot of money to put Godzilla on screen, and every minute that Godzilla's on screen, that's a lot of money that you're throwing into the series, into the production and the post-production work. But I really hope that the kaiju do get extended sequences in this series, because, of course, we're here for Godzilla after all. So I really hope that Godzilla does play at least a pretty integral part to the story, and we see him have multiple sequences throughout the film. Or throughout the series. I keep saying film. It's just we've never had a Godzilla series before. So it's going to get some used to in terms of saying series. But yeah, those are some of the most interesting things I picked out from this trailer. But I want to know what you guys are thinking in the comment section below. Please, if you share any of my sentiments, or if you're still worried about the series, let me know, and I want to know why. So as always, if you want to stay up to date in all the latest in the world of movie and TV news, well, you're in the right place. And I hope you consider subscribing to the channel, because I would love to have you along for the ride. But until next time, this has been Millennium Media. I will see you all very soon.